Hello and welcome to Ils font l'actu. If you're a business owner looking to better manage your assets, you've come to the right place with us on this show. Pascal Clément, good morning.
Hello.
You are an industry coach and founder of Percentam, a company specializing in asset management to help companies optimize their performance. Pascal, you've been a teacher for about 20 years, but now you're offering your services directly to companies.
Yes, that's right. I started out as a marine engineer in 1996. From there, I moved to the factories as an industrial maintenance technician. Working in factories, I quickly noticed that trying to improve and develop things internally was somehow difficult. We're always a bit against the flow. One thing led to another, and I went back to university to become a professional engineer, and I did research and development in reliability and industrial maintenance, specializing in predictive maintenance. While doing these research work, I started teaching. I've always worked as a full-time employee and taught part-time. As a salaried employee, I've always been driven by this desire to make things evolve and this feeling of going against the flow, and I've always taken great pleasure in sharing my knowledge and teaching, particularly in continuing education for adults and professional workers. These people are often curious, eager to evolve and explore new approaches. That is how, a few years ago, I finally decided to launch my own business.
Percentam's approach is really all about performance optimization.
Exactly. In fact, Percentam stands for Performance-Centered Asset Management. We're talking about physical assets here.
Not financial assets.
Exactly. It's not about financial assets, but about physical assets, industrial assets, and therefore about performance. So the whole approach is centered around the PCAM process, which stands for Performance-Centered Asset Management. This process is supported by a series of training courses. The training courses, in fact, teach the Percentam body of knowledge. And then?
Precisely, you have a whole range of trainings. Can you tell us about it?
Of course. In the training courses, we actually start with a session that teaches you about the fundamentals of asset management. When I talk about asset management, I'm not just talking about the financial side, because in many cases, we tend to talk about asset management as only focused on financial analysis with regard to physical assets. But no, I'm referring to physical assets on the shop floor, in the field. Know your assets, their condition, and their vulnerability, and from there, put in place the right means and strategies. So afterwards...
In practical terms, are you going to take a production line and see what works and what doesn't? Please explain.
Yes. In a factory, for example, we go to a specific production line and work in partnership with the operators, the maintainers, the reliability specialists, if there are any, the analysts, the engineers, the people concerned, and together we focus on getting the best understanding of the line. We need to understand how it works.
Yes.
Then, we need to understand how it could malfunction and to study the associated consequences. Depending on the severity of the consequences, we can identify the ones we can't afford or the undesirable consequences. We're going to make sure we implement the right optimized strategies. Just there, we see that when we're talking about hidden costs, we're talking about a decreased performance. By doing this, we can identify many of these losses and fix their causes to improve the global performance.
Let's come back to your training offers.
Yes, the rest of the training courses will take up the principles of reliability-centered maintenance, but using innovative and always very simple tools, as we often tend to overcomplicate these things. My approach is to keep things simple so that people in the field can easily make it their own. Next, we'll look at improvement techniques, in particular those that form part of TPM, Total Productive Maintenance. We'll be looking at how to set up a defect elimination process for sustainable continuous improvement, using methods such as root cause analysis, for example. And finally, a training that I would say is mostly aimed at analysts and reliability specialists. We'll be looking at data analysis, reliability, and how to use it in asset management to really target areas for improvement and areas of vulnerability, and then optimize them. Following this training, the next step is certification, Becoming a certified asset management leader, it is a Percentam certification. This shows a team manager, for example, that his team has fully understood the concepts.
Yes.
It can also be used by individuals who want to boost their career or change careers.
You work with individuals too.
Yes.
Even if most of your customers are medium-sized or large companies?
Yes, but there are also some individuals. We offer solutions such as self-paced training, including pre-recorded courses. And on several occasions, I've had individuals thank me because it helped them land a new job, a new position, or sometimes even change fields and come to asset management. For me, it's always a great success when that happens.
Yes, because your support is very personalized. Workshops are put in place.
Indeed, all our training courses include tools, methods, and concepts, as well as workshops. In fact, the aim is really to pass on know-how, not just theory and tools, but actual know-how. And to pass on this know-how, workshops need to be applied to the customer's operational context.
Courses are adapted to each individual.
It's custom-made, yes. Then there's coaching for corporate and plant solutions. Coaching is all about passing on the know-how. My aim is to help industrials develop a method, implement it, and make it their own, then reproduce it in other parts of the plant or even in other plants, thereby contributing to the company's overall performance.
What does Percentam see as the goal of asset management?
It's quite simple. The aim of asset management is to extract maximum value from our assets. And when we talk about maximum value, we're talking about overall value, not just financial value, but also health, safety, and environmental value. In other words, the famous people-planet profit. When we undertake a project, for example, as part of the corporate and plant solution, we launch a project targeting a part of the plant, a department or a line where we can get the fastest return on investment. That way, profit is improved, and from there, we replicate, and with more resources, we can take care of the other two aspects of sustainable development. One of the basic elements of my mission and my values is sustainable development.
And it's totally topical.
Yes, to help the industry evolve.
So, what's the guarantee of increased performance when a company calls on your services?
By working directly in the field with a production line, as I explained earlier, you develop methods and tools. We also develop documentation, very simple operating procedures, visual aids, and capture knowledge. We're going to align information systems with analyses, and from there, all this knowledge that we capture, well, on the one hand, we're going to target vulnerabilities, we're going to tackle a lot of hidden costs at the line, so we're able to generate performance and profit directly. On the other hand, we're also going to alleviate the problem we're facing throughout the industry, staff turnover, erosion of knowledge by recording information, developing these aids and all this material, let's say, while keeping it very simple and understandable. By developing and capturing knowledge, we make new staff much more efficient, much faster, and here again we're going to avoid problems. We have staff who understand their machines better, fewer failures, less downtime, less losses, more performance. That's it.
Sounds simple enough.
Yes, it's simple.
What is your radius of action? Do you do a lot of international work?
Yes, I work a lot internationally in French, English, and Spanish. Indeed, internationally. I think it's always interesting to have an industrial partner who wants to optimize the performance of a plant, which is why we have a wide radius of action. Afterwards, we can repeat the method elsewhere, in other facilities, and thus contribute to the group's overall performance. So yes, it's interesting.
Thank you very much, Pascal Clément, for coming on stage to talk to us about Percentam Solutions.
You're welcome. Thanks to you.
See you soon.